Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Dr. Carmen McGuinness, and today I'm going to talk about stress and anxiety and how to feel calm in the face of life's little and big challenges. So one of the most frequent heard reasons for individuals coming to therapy is to deal with stress and anxiety. I've heard this stated in different ways: reduce anxiety, manage stress, feel peaceful. Sometimes people say feel peaceful again, so they have had that in the past. Learn how to calm down, I hear also. And something I hear quite often is, I want to learn how to relax. And this comes from individuals who rarely or never feel at ease. They don't experience the relaxation response. All of these are similar goals, but not quite the same. After I make a few distinctions, I'll discuss some ways to do all of the above. But first, the distinctions. Anxiety and stress are not quite the same thing. Stress is something that comes from observable events in the environment. So, for instance, running late to drop your kids at school, a work deadline that has to be met, or a car, something as simple as a car cutting you off, might all cause stress. Anxiety, on the other hand, comes from within us. It's generated by fear, apprehension, and worry about events that have either already happened or might happen in the future. While stress is marked by a sense of hurriedness and harriedness coming from outside of yourself, anxiety is marked by a sense of dread and doom coming from within. A simple distinction comes from the phrase, "I'm under stress." When we're under stress, something is happening in the world. We're under the influence of whatever it is. But we are never under anxiety. We might be anxious, but it's because we're worried. The events about which we are worried may be real, they may be imagined, they might have already happened, they might be going to happen, or maybe will never happen. But the antecedent or consequent response to them is worry, and it comes from within. And by antecedent, I mean in advance of the event, consequent being after the event. In summary, anxiety comes from our own response to stress. At the risk of sounding a little dramatic here, both stress and anxiety can ruin your day, your relationships, and indeed your life. Let's talk about each. Starting with your day. When a stressful event occurs, you get a rush of adrenaline. Adrenaline is produced in the brain, specifically in the pituitary gland, and we just store a little bit of it. We don't have a lot of it on board waiting to deal with our bad event. And it takes a while to make more adrenaline. So after an upset, adrenaline dissipates, and its effects begin to fade very quickly. Its half-life is 2 to 3 minutes, which means that the effects of adrenaline begin to fade after about 4 to 6 minutes, and you're back to baseline. Yay, right? Or not. If the stressor is still in play, or if you keep it in play by ruminating about it, your body will call out the second team, cortisol. The bad news is the half-life of cortisol is about 66 minutes. That means you'll only just begin to calm down. The effects will just start to subside after just over an hour. And the effects won't fully fade until over 2 hours. And that's a heavy price to pay just because another car cut you off, or your boss may or may not have given you a funny look. So, the next thing. On to relationships and how stress and anxiety can ruin them. When you're in this fight or flight mode, you don't stand around being coy. You don't look cute. In fact, eye contact reduces to a minimum. We start to recoil from touch, and the hormones associated with love and affection, like oxytocin, come to a dribble and stop. Other hormones like dopamine and serotonin are relegated to the stress response. That's right. These lovely feel-happy hormones can also make you feel angry or irritated, and they only go in one direction at a time. You're not going to feel both. So if you're using up all your serotonin and dopamine on being fussy, then, and that's a nice word for it, then you're not going to have any left over to be cute and coy. So none of this is the best environment for love of any sort, whether it's for your child, for your parent, or for your partner, or just a friend. It doesn't take a doctorate degree to see how, if left unchecked, this state can ruin your life. Basically, our baseline changes. We wake up fearful or pissed off, or both. All that cortisol ruins our health as well and contributes to weight gain and difficulty losing weight. That's what that midriff bulge is about. That's cortisol causing that. And your friends might head for greener pastures as well, not because you're gaining weight, but because you're just no fun anymore. No one wants to be around Mr. Grumpy. And once you get into this sort of frump, you tend to get stuck. You know that place where no one can solve your problems. No matter how hard they try, no matter how good their advice is, you just say, well, that won't work. So today I'm going to talk about a few things that you can do to manage the effects of stress and reduce anxiety. First, two definite no-nos, and then we'll get into the good news, some must-dos. So the first no-no is catastrophizing, a definite no-no. This is when we worry about the worst possible thing that could happen. If your boss has scheduled a meeting with you, it's about her firing you. And then you'll not be able to find a comparable job, and of course, your house will be foreclosed on, your car will be repossessed, and you'll starve. Result, you lose a night's sleep and go to the meeting feeling tired and irritable or terrified or both. And of course, most of the time it wasn't about that at all. Catastrophizing keeps you in a worst possible scenario mood all the time. Another no-no, ruminating. Definite no-no. This is when you rehash the past over and over again in your mind. Ruminating keeps you rooted in unpleasant situations all the time. Neither catastrophizing nor ruminating are about your life right now, which takes us to the first must-do. Staying present in the moment. The present moment is the only time over which you have control. It's the window through which you affect your world. When present, we enjoy life more fully, our relationships flourish, and our overall health improves. Why? Because we're in our body, living our life, not in some past argument or relationship or future challenge. The next one, must do, is appreciation. No matter how rough life gets, we all have something or someone we can be appreciative of. Even if it's just the light that dances on the ground in front of us, we can be thankful for it. In workshops, I sometimes do a guided meditation activity in which we close our eyes and imagine a world in which there is no light. Through guided meditation, we consider the challenges of mobility, finding food and safe shelter. And when the meditation is over, we all open our eyes. We get a very real sense of how much we appreciate light. So if you can't think of anything else, think of light and feel appreciative. Feelings of appreciation are associated to improved sense of well-being, which is the opposite of depression, improved health, and improved overall appearance. Deep breathing, another absolute must-do. And this one works right away. It's better than any pill you'll ever take. It works within seconds. Inhale for 4 to 6 seconds through the nose and into the bottom of the lungs. Exhale for 6 to 8 seconds through pursed lips. Be sure to fully empty your lungs, as this ensures fresh, clean air in your lungs all the time. So we're going to try maybe 2 breaths right now. And please do this with me so that you can experience the benefits. So here goes. You might be able to hear the children in my school in the background. Many of you know this is my psychology clinic, and I also operate a school for children with disabilities. And hearing them in the background, normally I would be listening, trying to check in with what's going on back there, but boy, those breaths just kept me right here in the moment. 3 of those and you'll be as good as new anytime. Now, I'll warn you that what I hear most often when I teach people about breath, what I hear is, I don't want to calm down when I'm angry or upset. So let's talk about that. The ability to self-regulate is learned during childhood, and it's learned from how our caregivers, our parents, regulate us as children and how we observe them regulating themselves. The good news is, if your caregivers drop the ball on that, you can still teach it to yourself, but you have to make yourself do it, just like a parent would or should have done when you were a child, just as they would have made you do the right thing. So the next time something goes wrong, stop fussing, be your own mom, and take a deep breath. So last must do, body check-ins. This is when you stop and get in touch with your body. Just notice where there's tension and release it. Notice if you're holding your breath or breathing too shallow and deepen it. And notice if your thoughts have wandered to a past inconvenience or future challenge, real or imagined, and get back to now. So that's it. Performing these practices regularly, practicing them like your life depends on it, because it does, will help you stay calm and relaxed and recover more quickly and naturally when life happens, and it will. So thank you for stopping by my channel today, and as always, if you need to talk more than what I offer here on my YouTube channel, you can visit the About tab and get in touch. Thank you and have a great day.